Hey everyone, and welcome back to another Jurassic World Chaos Theory video. Today, we've got a question to dive into, and probably the biggest question when it comes to Jurassic World Chaos Theory Season 4 in fact. Will the Giganotosaurus finally be appearing? Because, let's be honest, if there's one dinosaur that fans feel didn't really get the proper spotlight in Jurassic World Dominion, it's the Giga. It was hyped up, called the largest carnivore the world has ever seen, it was even compared to the Joker, and yet in the movie, it didn't really deliver. But Season 4 of Chaos Theory might be its time for redemption. So let's break down everything that we know so far and all of the pointers that suggest that it is returning. We're going to be talking about the timeline, what's confirmed by the show's producers, how Season 3 ended and why the Giga showing up in Season 4 actually makes a lot of sense. So once you're sat back, relaxed, and got your snacks at the ready, it's time to discuss the Giganotosaurus' return in Jurassic World Chaos Theory. Firstly, let's quickly recap where Season 3 left off, because that sets the stage. At the end of Season 3, we had two storylines splitting the group up. On one side, we had Kenji and Sammy together holding Bumpy's offspring, a baby Ankylosaurus named Smoothie, and they've already made it to Biocin's sanctuary. That's the massive controlled valley run by Lewis Dodson's corporation in Jurassic World Dominion. On the other side, Darius, Ben, Yaz, and Brooklyn are all inbound to the same place by helicopter, and the key detail here is timeline placement. This is all happening right after the Malta chase sequence in Jurassic World Dominion with the Atrociraptors, so we are smack bang in the middle of the film's events. That timeline piece is huge. It means Season 4 will continue to overlap directly with Dominion. The Malta chase happens, Owen and Claire start moving towards Biocin's Valley, and meanwhile the campers are either already there or currently on their way. So now let's look at what's confirmed for Season 4. Executive producer Scott Creamer called this the show's most ambitious season yet, and he promised bigger dinosaurs, bigger set pieces, and bigger stakes. The choice of the words here matter. Bigger dinosaurs. In the current franchise language, what's bigger than a T-Rex? The Giganotosaurus. In Dominion, Alan Grant literally calls it the largest carnivore the world has ever seen.
Giganotosaurus. Biggest carnivore the world has ever seen.
Although, I think that's relatively debatable considering the Spinosaurus. That line is just not a throwaway. Universal used it as a marketing pillar. If the animated series is up in the scale, the Giga is the obvious candidate. There's also the fan side of things. A lot of people walked out of Dominion feeling like the Giganotosaurus was underused or incorrectly used. It looked fantastic, it had the presence, but in terms of actual impact, it didn't get many scenes. It had the initial cliff standoff with Rexy's ancestor back in the Cretaceous period, it menaced the group at the outpost, and then it featured in the final showdown with the T-Rex and Therizinosaurus, where it ultimately got killed off quite easily. For a dinosaur billed as the new apex of the valley, it didn't dominate the way many expected. That disappointment created a gap, and Season 4 can fill it. Animation lets the team use the Giga in smarter and scarier ways. They can make it a constant pressure in the sanctuary, not just a boss encounter. The Giga can be there as a threat that you hear before you actually see it. You can hear the footfalls, the tree trunk shivering, herds of herbivores even bursting out of the bush. A silhouette across a ridged line at dusk. That kind of long build-up is exactly where Chaos Theory tends to excel. Tense survival, resourcefulness, and character stress under relentless pressure. Crucially, the show can also use the Giganotosaurus without contradicting the movies. Dominion still owns the creature's final fate and its climactic moments. Season 4 just has to avoid stepping on that specific sequence. That still leaves plenty of room to play around with. The team can stage encounters earlier in the timeline or in parts of the valley that Dominion just never showed. There's a lot of that movie where we just didn't get to see the rest of the Giganotosaurus. The Giga could even force the kids to make bad choices because safer routes become death traps when an apex is roaming in the flats. They could even then turn to the ravines and caves under the valley because open ground is suicide with that big menacing creature, and then that would naturally open the door to the mines where the Dimetrodons lurk, tying back into Dominion's underground sequence while still telling a fresh story. The Giga doesn't need to go into the mines, it only needs to make the surface too dangerous to cross so that we can have even more of a crossover to the movie. There's also the helicopter story with Darius, Ben, Yaz, and Brooklyn. Their approach to Biosyn is another opportunity to explore the Giganotosaurus. Dominion showed the Quetzalcoatlus attacking Owen, Kayla, and Claire's transport in the sky above the valley. The series does not need to retell that story. Instead, their autopilot can just divert into the valley sooner than planned because of the airspace restrictions with the ADS, which then drops them into a hot zone right when the Giga is on the move. You cut between the ground level dread with Kenji and Sammy and the aerial panic with the inbound team. 2 tracks, 1 apex predator pushing them both into worse terrain, but also a reunion. Can you imagine how terrified Sammy and Kenji will be without having Darius to know what species this is? So now let's tie this back to what the season promised: bigger set pieces and bigger stakes. Bigger set pieces obviously means the sanctuary itself becomes a character. Massive fire breaks, towering pylons, and the animal migration routes Biosyn pretends to control. Imagine a set piece where the Giganotosaurus is so menacing that it ends up driving a stampede of herbivores through a zone where the campers are standing. Or worse yet, even a scene that involves Bumpy's last moments. Hey, not everyone's making it out unscathed, that's all I'm gonna say. And that's what I want to talk about now. Bigger stakes. This signals casualties, or at least serious injuries. The show has not been shy about consequences. If they intend to close the series, they will likely take a swing that hurts. The Giga is the cleanest way to deliver the emotional and thematical purpose to this, and it is the Valley's apex predator after all. If someone pays the price for a mistake or a sacrificial move, tying it to the Giga gives that loss weight. The audience will then start to feel like that this dinosaur finally mattered. It took someone's life or injured someone that we absolutely love from the campers, or at least someone connected to them. But what about marketing logic? Well, it points to the Giganotosaurus as well. Universal pushes synergy across film, animation, toys, and games. The Giganotosaurus remains an absolute top seller, whether you love it or hate it. If Season 4 is the crescendo, featuring the Giga is the easiest way to align with that machine. Trailers just naturally cut themselves together when you have an apex that just looks this good. There's an important structural point too. If Season 4 is the end, you want to finish with images that feel definitive. The franchise already gave the Spinosaurus its own movie. Rexy has had multiple heroic fames and comebacks across films and Camp Cretaceous. The Therizinosaurus got its instant classic silhouette in Dominion, and the Giganotosaurus needs a run of scenes that makes it memorable on its own terms. Not just a cameo, not just a single fight, a sustained presence that feels like a force of nature. For character work, the Giganotosaurus is a pressure cooker. Kenji's instinct to protect Sammy and Smoothie will collide with Sammy's willingness to take calculated risks. Brooklyn's investigative drive will want the answers about who is moving the assets inside the valley when stealth would be smarter. Darius will then try to pattern the Giga's routes like a tracker, which then sets up misreads when the animal breaks its rhythm. And Ben's trauma around survival will resurface when the group has to hide for hours without moving. The Giga doesn't need to come with massive dialogue, it just needs to shape their arcs. It just needs to exist nearby, in the back of the characters' minds throughout the whole of Season 4, and the audiences as well. But now let's talk about what the show should avoid if the goal is Giga Redemption. Don't make it a jump scare machine that arrives on cue then vanishes. Don't undercut it with constant saves from larger coincidences. And don't have other creatures repeatedly bailing out the kids by attacking it every time it appears. In this series, you want to start to see the kids to outthink, outmaneuver, and sometimes just outlast the apex. That respect makes the dinosaur feel real and dangerous. And all of this circles back to the original question: will the Giganotosaurus be in Season 4 of Jurassic World Chaos Theory? With the information we have, the answers look very close to yes. The show is moving into Biosyn's sanctuary during Dominion's timeline. The producers have broadcast bigger dinosaurs and bigger stakes. The Giga is canonically the Valley's apex predator and the franchise's designated largest carnivore, according to Alan Grant. Fans also want more from it than what they got in the film. The story space between Malta and the latter acts of Dominion gives the writers a safe lane to deliver that without breaking anything. If the season follows through, the Giga finally gets its moment. Not just a single brawl, but a run of sequences that show why everything else in the valley gives it space. It becomes the reason the New Blast 6 change routes, abandon plans, and face their limits. It earns the title the movie gave it, and for viewers who felt shortchanged in Dominion, that would be satisfying to them as well. So, I'm calling it. The Giganotosaurus appearing in Season 4 is not only likely, it's the smartest play the show can make. It fits the setting, the timeline, the marketing, and the audience's expectations. It raises the ceiling on tension, it gives the season a clear apex threat, and it sets up a finale that can land hard without contradicting the film. But what do you guys think? Do you agree that the Giganotosaurus is basically locked in for Season 4, or do you think they'll try to subvert expectations and go heavier on the Therizinosaurus instead? We'll discuss that in a later video. Drop your thoughts below. If you enjoyed this video, be sure to leave a like and subscribe for more Jurassic content here on YouTube. And be sure to ring the bell so that you don't miss the next video here on the channel. But most importantly, make sure you're all staying safe out there, and I'll see you all in the next one. Bye bye. Hey, did you enjoy the video? Well, why not leave a like and subscribe for more Jurassic content? I appreciate every single one of you for reaching this point into the video and supporting me this far. If you wish to support me even further, then feel free to head on down to the description where you can find links to donate, my Patreon, and you can also press that join button to become a member here on YouTube and gain access to some awesome emojis. A massive thank you to all of the YouTube members for this month, as well as the amazing fans over on Patreon too. Your extra bit of support really goes a long way. But for now, I wish you a great rest of your day.